They sometimes prefer like their own outputs. They're not very accurate or robust. You want something that's kind of robust and repeatable and accurate. So yeah, I feel like don't be lazy. Just think about it more until you figure out how to have a deterministic verifier. Sometimes it seems impossible, but usually you can find one. Yeah, don't be nice to the models when you're building a benchmark. Just be very tough. Let's see what else we wanted to talk about. Oh, here I just talk about when you launch, it should be around 0%, but don't make a benchmark that will take 20 years to solve. You also want something that you don't want something that within 2 months will get to 75%, but you also don't want something that will be stuck at 0 for 5 years, because then people will just get tired of your benchmark and not even think about it. So building a benchmark is really hard because you have to make it hard, but not way too hard. It's got to be somewhere in the middle. Yeah. We're not going to talk about this. So to finish off, I'll just say 2 quick things about the future and what I'm kind of thinking about these days. So number 1, the first thing that I'm thinking of is in stages 4 and 5 that I showed before. There's going to be a lot more benchmarks that we can find. So how can we find more verifiable tasks that are currently unsolved that we can turn into benchmarks? That's something that I think about basically every day, and I'm super excited to see what you guys come up with, what the world comes up with. I think it's going to be really cool. And then the next kind of question that I always think of is, at some point we're going to saturate all the stage 4 and stage 5 benchmarks, and there's going to be a 6th stage, but it's really tough for me to imagine what that will look like. So what is the next stage of benchmarking going to look like? That's it. We have a lot of news coming soon, cool new benchmarks and stuff. So follow me on Twitter, Ophir Press, and my website has more information about all this stuff. Thank you so much for coming.
Cool, thanks for that, Ophir. That was really cool. One thing that it made me think about is how much I don't look at evals and how shallow I am on evals, just kind of running them and using them within processes, and actually how much deeper I need to go into understanding them. But I can't wait to get back to that in the panel. So the next speaker is Alex Sang. Alex is the author of Recursive Language Models, and Alex is going to speak about recursive language models. He's also a PhD student at MIT, and he's really going to take this from a different perspective and kind of look beyond training and look at these recursive language models. So take it away, please, Alex.
Cool. Yeah. I think I've given this or a talk on recursive language models in many different ways. I think for this workshop, I think what's the most interesting is sort of to understand why I think this idea lends itself very well to training, and also roughly what I've been thinking about for how we start to think about training models in the future, especially for the more interesting and difficult benchmarks that Ophir had mentioned, and things that have been coming out in the past few months for what we want language models to actually do. So I think first I'll give a brief kind of overview of what RLMs or recursive language models actually are, and then I'll talk a little bit about what actually is the idea, behind the very simple design and implementation of these systems. Why should you actually care about this thing, and why is this framing very sort of different than what we traditionally have been doing as a field. So I think to start, it's funny because I've referenced this slide for the past 4 months, and I think it's honestly not changed too much. So